DJ Urban T. Benjamin. My brothers. This ain't pain talk. This is clarity. They told us be strong, but don't act like a man. Be sensitive, but never take a fucking stand. Be providers, but ashamed of the grind. Confused ass culture, now we losing our spine. I watch men drown with their mouths full of facts. Quote every theory, but don't move when it's time to act. Scrolling for truth like it's stuck in the feed, but red pill reality don't come cheap. I ain't mad at women, I'm mad at the lie. They told you red pill meant bitching online. Red pill wasn't rage, it was look in the mirror. Now see enemies instead of getting clearer. They say wake up, but stay sleeping they habits. Blame the whole world, never audit they balance. You broke cause you lazy, not cursed. Red pill truth hit hard, yeah this shit might hurt.
Hell, red pill, but don't choke on the truth. If you woke while you still in the same fucking loop, say you free, but you chained to the pain. Red pill, see clear, still walk in the rain. Red pill, but live that shit out. Awake ain't a bad, just a long way out. If you see what's real, then stand on your feet. Brotherhood calling, don't lie to me.
Misogyny ain't strength, it's fear in disguise. Red pill twisted when you stop thinking precise. Turn patterns into laws, turn hurt into hate. Then wonder why life still slamming the gate. Alpha beta talk got you sounding real small. Red pill discipline silent, don't posture at all. A man who see clear, don't need a villain. He building his shit while you scrolling and bitching. Red pill ain't the uniform, it's the work. But most one language without the dirt. Truth don't trend, don't clap, don't cheer. Red pill pressure make cowards disappear. I ain't saying the world fed, it's never the case. But red pill don't excuse you from running the race. Life don't owe you shit, but it answer the work. So either level up or stay mad and hurt.
Red pill, but don't poison your soul. Truth ain't hate, it's control. Stay woke, but you live in the sleep. Red pill talk, same shit every week. Red pill, but stand like a man. Awareness demand more than a plan. If you see what's real, then bleed for the truth. Brotherhood watching, what you gon' do?
Red pill ain't loud. It don't argue in comments. It don't recruit the bitter. Red pill get quiet and start demanding receipts. I ain't above this shit, I'm in it too. Same red pill standard apply to you and me, fool. If I say build, I gotta build mine. If I say lead, I gotta bleed time. Gentlemen, my brothers. Red pill ain't something you say, it's something you live. I'm holding myself to it too.
Welcome to the lounge, where we challenge accountability. I'm Urban, and we don't do surface talk here. We use emotional intelligence. Thought-provoking, mind in motion. Truth be stirring, deep emotion. No filters, no faking. This here, thought-provoking. Every beat a question, every bar a lesson. I turn the mic to a mirror, life's a session. Urban in the mix, soul and intellect blend. We ain't just talk truth, we set trends from Dallas to the world. We break that ceiling, no clout, just facts, that's the real feeling. Thought-provoking, mind in motion. Truth be stirring, deep emotion. No filters, no faking. This here, thought-provoking. Trap drums drop, but the message don't fade. Every thought sparks like a hand grenade. Faith, pain, love, and drive all collide, that's how minds revive. All collide, that's how minds revive. Thought-provoking, mind in motion. motion, truth be stirring, deep emotion, no filters, no faking. This here, thought-provoking. Mind open wide like a city skyline. Every topic shaped by design. The urban lounge where ideas ignite. Late night thoughts under podcast lights. Every episode of thought design. The urban lounge where iron sharp iron. We build from the ground like truth rewiring. Can't fake what's felt when the mic's ignited. If you listening now, you already invited. Thought-provoking, mind in motion, truth be stirring, deep emotion, no filters, no faking. This here, thought-provoking.
Warning, the following image and or content may be disturbing, offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Real quick community guidelines before we start the show. Now I want y'all to know that this is a space for respectable, thought-provoking conversations. We encourage intelligent discussions, different viewpoints, and respectable debates. Disagree if you want, but do it with substance and respect. Self-promotion is not allowed. This is not y'all billboard. Links, spam, and promotions in the comments or in live chat will be blocked immediately. Distasteful trolling, insults, or bad faith behavior will not be entertained. You will be blocked and banned. No warnings, no back and forth. Finally, y'all will notice that the subscriber mode is on. It is only for 5 minutes, y'all. 5 minutes. That way we can protect the integrity of the show and also protect the integrity of people who actually want to comment in the comment section faithfully. All right. We're here to think, challenge ideas, and grow, and not derail the conversation. If you're here in good faith, then I welcome you. Y'all enjoy the show. Salute everybody. Salute. Welcome to another episode of the Urban Lounge Podcast. I am Urban. We got another great episode that we are going to talk about tonight. Also, my apologies for starting the show earlier because I know y'all used to my 8:30 startup time, but I had to start it an hour early today because I got other obligations that I need to attend to immediately after this show. So my apologies on that, but we are here, we're live, and I appreciate you tuning in to this episode. All right, appreciate you. Nina, what's up with it? So, but yeah, appreciate y'all tuning into this episode. This episode, we'll continue talking about Men's Mental Health Month, like I promised to you, right? We're going to continue with Men's Mental Health Month, like I promised to y'all. We're going to go ahead and cover that tonight. This episode, I believe that this is something that we do need to talk about for real. And the reason why we're going to talk about this episode is simply because I'm just seeing an observation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just seeing the one observation, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about it tonight on this particular episode. Some of y'all been asking me about the Carmelo Anthony and Eric Metcalf case. I'm going to talk about it, right? But I'm not going to talk about it the way that y'all want me to talk about it, all right? I'm actually going to get to a what I'm saying? Oh, I'm actually going to do a episode talking about it, but it's going to be different. I'm going to cover it from a different perspective, right? Which is still going to be dealing with mental health as well, too. So I'm in the process of putting that episode together and make sure I put it up in front so I can want to talk about it at least by the end of this week, all right? So, but I also was intentionally waiting on the overall verdict of the trial. All right. Those of y'all who don't know, he was found guilty. All right. So you could go ahead and check that out on your own leisure time. But like I said, I'm not going to go into the whole details about the verdict or anything like that on this podcast. But I am going to cover it from a different perspective, still dealing with men's mental health. All right. So make sure you have your notifications set when I have that live available and ready for you. All right. So other than that, let's go ahead and get into the content for the hour. Once again, now I stated that through my research, right, of me just talking about men's mental health awareness, right, I discovered that a lot of people don't even care about men's mental health. Once again, a lot of people don't care about men's mental health at all. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that it shouldn't even be controversial, to be honest with you, but somehow it is. Now, as y'all know, every June, the social media fills up with awareness campaigns, causes, movements, right? We see some hashtags, we see corporate messages, right? But yet, despite all that, when it comes to Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, many men still feel invisible when it comes to their emotions, dealing with the psychological and spiritual well-being. Many men feel like nobody cares about their mental health. Some men, life experiences have reinforced their belief. Now, before we get any further, I want to be clear about something, okay? This episode is not about attacking women. It's not about attacking any group whatsoever. It's not about competing with anyone else's struggle. Because I understand that pain is not a competition. Pain is universal. Okay? The goal tonight is to have an honest conversation about why many men suffer in silence. Why some people dismiss mental health concerns from men. Why some men refuse to seek help. And what we can do to change this overall narrative. Because if we're going to talk about accountability, right, we have to be willing to confront the reality. And the reality is this. The reality is that men are indeed struggling. There are men right now who are struggling financially. There are men right now who are struggling emotionally. There are men right now who are struggling spiritually. There are men who are struggling in their marriages. There are men who are struggling after divorce. There are even men who are struggling dealing with loneliness. And there's most definitely men who are struggling with depression. And some are losing battles nobody even knew that they were fighting. So tonight we're going to have this conversation. Not the politically correct conversation, but we're going to have the real conversation. Not this, little social media conversation, but we're going to have the actual real conversation tonight, y'all. And the conversation is this: why people do not care about men's mental health. This conversation is very important to me because I know that many of my brothers are suffering from mental health issues. I know they are. But it's important for us to talk about it. We could go through the whole process of, the things that they do after the fact, right? Such as, them being abusive and, these other things too. We could talk about that. But we normally avoid the actual core issues of the matter when it's dealing with men in their mental health. So let's start with the facts first, all right? And make sure you hit the thumbs up to support the channel. Let's start with the facts. Not feelings, not opinions, but actual facts, okay? Now, I have research through the CDC, right? The CDC says that men account for nearly 80% of suicide death in the United States. And I want y'all to think about that. Nearly 4 out of every 5 suicides are from men. And I want y'all to ask yourself this question, a serious question. If any other demographic represented nearly 80% of tragic outcomes, would society ignore it? The answer to the question is probably not. In fact, society will do something about it because it's a concern. But however, yet men's mental health often get pushed to the side. There's another research that I researched, right? It's published in the Frontiers in Public Health. And I found out that many men avoid seeking professional mental health support due to stigma, due to the fear of judgment, due to society, masculine social norms, and even due to concerns about appearing weak. But many men don't seek help because they have been conditioned to believe the struggle. But many men, they seek help because they've been conditioned to believe that this is weakness. They have been untaught to just handle yourself, to figure it out, to man up. Hell, nobody cares. Stop bitching and complaining. I done heard this one. Tighten up, buttercup. But many men becomes master at hiding pain. They show up to work. They pay their bills. They take care of responsibilities. Smile in public while privately falling apart. And it's because they keep functioning, but however, nobody notices until it's too late. But I want y'all to hear me clearly, brothers. I notice. I am concerned. And I want to let you know that you matter. Your mental health matters. And I believe that we need to take this thing seriously, where it's not a joking matter at all, period. We need to absolutely take this thing seriously. If we want to see the outcomes change with men, for some, the outcomes dealing with abuse, for us, the outcome dealing with, all these other things that men deal with as well too, then it's going to have to start with us as men. It's going to have to start with us acknowledging that, yes, many of our brothers are suffering from some form of mental health issues. And guess what? It's okay. It is okay. I got some clips that I want to share with y'all tonight for your consideration, all right? So here's the first clip I want to share with y'all. Let's listen up.
It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I always think it's crazy when I hear that women don't care, especially
Alan,
because men
salute,
have
welcome.
their problems. And before y'all get in the comments and jump down my throat saying like, oh, you can't say that, this and that, da-da-da-da-da. When's the last time you asked your homeboy how he was feeling? Or if he's doing okay, or if he needs anything? I've seen a lot of arguments being like, oh, women don't care about men's mental health and blase blase. Number one, I don't think that's true because all the women I know take care of their boyfriend, their husband, their father, their friend, everyone around them. And I also don't think that's true because women talk to each other about their mental health issues and they do it fairly regularly, almost every day, if I'm being honest. You can't be incapable about talking about things amongst yourself and then wondering why people don't acknowledge it or take it seriously. I do think men's mental health is serious. But if you're a man and you can't turn to your homeboy and be like, hey, I'm going through something, I need some help, I need some advice, then you cannot bring women into it because women talk to each other all the time. The call is coming from inside the house.
So let's talk about it. Why some women don't care about our mental health? Why does it look like this? Why do it have to be perceived this way? I want to just address something uncomfortable here. I do want to acknowledge that not all women, but some women generally struggle to empathize with men's mental health struggles. We should be asking the question, why? Why is that so? The answer is because many have been conditioned to view men primarily through utility. What does utility look like? They value man based on what he could provide for her. What can he do to protect her? What can he do to fix things for her? What can he overall do for me? By having many men discovered that the moment they become emotionally vulnerable, some people begin viewing them differently. And these common responses, y'all know about them, but I'm going to mention them. These common responses include man up, stop bitching and complaining. Everybody has problems. You're being too emotional. You need to be stronger. Stop acting like a victim. Nobody cares. Stop being soft. And here's the one that we hear all the time. Whenever men decide to express their emotion, here's the number one thing, and this is the thing that these type of women use to emasculate us. They say this, and men actually do this as well too. They say this: stop being gay. Tighten up, buttercup. Whether these statements come from women, men, family members, co-workers, or strangers online, the message is often the same. Your pain is inconvenient. Your struggle is weakness. Your emotions make other people feel uncomfortable. I had did another research, right? And there's a research that is called gender role strain. And I don't know if y'all familiar with gender role strain, but I'm gonna explain it to you. Gender role strain is the psychological stress that occurs when society places conflicted expectations on men. Let me give you an example of this. This can include be strong but emotionally available. Be vulnerable but don't appear weak. Be a provider but don't work too much. Lead confidently, right, but don't be controlling. Express your emotions, but don't make people feel uncomfortable. See, these conflicted expectations creates pressure. Men often be told to be two different things at the same time, and then get criticized regardless of what choice he make. It's almost like damage you do, damage you don't. And this contradiction, many men live with every single day, including myself. I got another clip I want to share with y'all, all right?
You will never, ever
Alan,
hear me
facts.
talk about the issue of
Go
men's
to, so-
mental health. And the reason why? What do you want me to say? You want me to say that I care? Let's play that game. You first. How many men have I heard talk about the severe issue of rape against women? How many men have I heard talk about the issue of sexual assault and harassment against women? How many men have I heard talk about the issue of young boys being red-pilled against women? How many men have I heard defending their friends when they say really disgusting things about women? How many men have I heard talking about we need to stop locker room talk? How many men talk about the severe violence against women in the LGBTQ community? How many men have I heard talking about the severe violence against women of color? You want me to talk about men's mental health? You want me to show that I care? You first. Show me you care even a bit about the well-being of women anywhere. And it's fascinating to me, just fascinating, that men's mental health just must be celebrated only during Pride Month. And it's because Pride threatens their masculinity. Not because they care about men's mental health. It's that they need to recenter that conversation onto them. Because when the world has always been centered on you, the second that it doesn't feel like it is, you're being attacked, aren't you? Everyone's out to get you. So no, I will not be talking about men's mental health ever in my life until I start seeing a serious dialogue shift to see even just a semblance of defense towards women. I'll wait. And might I add, all of these problems that I just listed for women are perpetuated by men. These issues are caused by men, not in some amorphous way. They are direct physical, emotional, and mental attacks against women. And they do not speak about trying to stop this. They do not speak about shifting the culture. But then men, what, your mental health is that you're lonely? Why? Why? Because women won't date you? Why won't they date you? It's never been an equal back and forth. Never will be. So you can say, well, if the roles were reversed. Well, it's not quite how it works, but I wouldn't expect you to know that anyway.
Gentlemen, I want you to consider this, okay? I want you to consider what she was saying, all right? Now, I know that she was using a lot of bird language, that's what we call it in the red pill space, right? She was using a lot of hyena language as well, too. And I get it. I understand that concept. But I want y'all to consider this, okay? I want y'all to look at it from a different perspective. A lot of things, if you just cipher through it right, a lot of things what she was actually expressing was actually valid. Okay? Now, this is the reason why I'm saying this to you, brothers. The reason why I'm saying that it's valid is because there is a underlying issues that other brothers have committed towards these said women. It is true. We done seen it. Our other brothers have been abusive towards women. Our other brothers have been abusive, non-abusive, but doing molestation and all type of weird bullshit towards younger women and also children as well too. That is absolutely true. So we can't get around that fact. And here's the thing about it is that we have to not only hold them brothers accountable, but we have to hold ourselves accountable as well too. But I'm gonna get into more details about that. We're gonna dive deeper into that. All right. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up to support the channel. Tonight we're talking about it's Men Mental Health Month and why the hell people don't care about it. Why they don't care about it at all, period. And I'm letting you know, brothers, that I care. I care about it. To be honest with you, brothers, out of every topic that I talk about over here at the lounge, this is one of the topics that I'm very passionate about, for real. Because I do care. I really do care. Because I want our outcomes to be different. Okay? I don't want our outcomes to be that we're casualties. I want our outcomes to be that we're overcomers. All right? But let's talk about the other reason why women don't care. Just to piggyback on what she was saying, okay? Some women have generally been hurt by men. Could we agree on that? Some women have experienced physical abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, financial abuse, spiritual abuse. Many of our brothers have cheated on them. Many of our brothers have manipulated them. Many of our brothers have not only abandoned them, but abandoned children as well too. And in these situations, they haven't hold themselves accountable, nor have we as brothers have held them accountable as a collective brotherhood or collective community. I want y'all to understand that these experiences that these women have went through, it is true. It is absolutely true. And we cannot run away from that. It is no way arguing that because it is true. I want y'all to understand that the pain is real. The trauma is real. And nobody should minimize that at our period. But however, I want y'all to understand that healing requires something difficult. It requires the difference between the man who hurt you and the man as a whole. Unfortunately, some people never make that distinction. And this is what I'm talking about. In these situations, even though these situations are very valid, right? Other men end up getting grouped into the same category. So if she end up having a experience, she category every man within that same experience. And it become unrealistic, it becomes disingenuous, and it becomes unfair. If this one man or probably different men have either raped her or molested her or these different things right to her, right? Guess what? In her reality, she's grouping every man like that. One man lie, therefore all men lie. One man cheat, therefore all men cheat. One man abuse, therefore all men are dangerous. One man abandoned them, therefore all men cannot be trusted. Now, while this response may be understandable from a trauma perspective, but in reality it's disingenuous and it's not fair. Now, trauma, it may explain the behavior, right? But it doesn't automatically justify it, okay? Now, does holding a million of men responsible for actions of a few men is no different than judging any other group based on actions of its worst members. We can look at this from a racial perspective. That's because one or a couple of white men or a group decide to be racial or prejudiced, it'll be disingenuous for us to group every white man the same exact way. One group of black men and women are being degenerates. And they'll be disingenuous for them to group all of us the same exact way. That's why when y'all come over here, right, I make myself abundantly clear. Whenever I'm talking about a certain archetype of people, I'm letting you know who I'm talking about. When I have a conversation about women, I'll let you know. I put a label behind the archetype of women that I'm talking about. In most cases, that label is known as modern women. Because I know and I understand that not all women operate this way. But it's a certain archetype of women that does operate this way, and that's why we addressed it. This is a discernment, y'all. It's generalization. And this is where accountability applies to everyone. Okay. Now, because over here at the lounge, when I say we're going to hold each other accountable, I don't mean just us men, but I mean everybody collectively together, depending on the situation what we're talking about. Now, just as men must heal from past wounds and stop projecting them onto future relationships, which we talk about over here at the lounge, by the way, women must do the same. And the reason why is because unhealed trauma distorts perception. It corrects what is known as baggage. It corrects what is known as a generational curse. You stop seeing people as individuals and you start seeing them as reminders of your pain. And check this out. When this happens, innocent people end up paying for what someone else did. Now, this solution isn't bitter. The solution is actually healing. The solution is counseling and self-reflection, personal growth, learning healthy relationship patterns. Now, I'm talking about the women in this particular segment. Learning proper vetting skills and learning how to judge people based on their individual character. And I want y'all to be clear about this, that healing isn't just recovery from what happened to you. It's making sure your pain doesn't become a weapon against people who had nothing to do with it. How come we got 2 months that contradict each other on the same month? They don't tell you about that. I'm going to address that. I'm going to address the reason why Men's Mental Health Month is on the same month on Proud Month. But I'm going to address that later, all right? But that's a good question, but I'm going to address it. I'm going to address it. I know y'all curious about that, but I did research on it. I'm going to address that for y'all, all right? But it's coming. Once y'all consider this next clip as well too, while we get ready to play this clip, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up to support the channel. Tonight we're having the episode talking about Men's Mental Health Month, and we're trying to figure out why people do not care about Men's Mental Health Month.
Men's mental health is performative. I'm sorry. Come for me all you want. But it's Men's Mental Health Month, and I literally didn't know because I haven't seen one man post on this. The first person I heard talking about this was a woman. Make it make sense. But when women talk about scary statistics on things that literally physically put our lives in danger, the first thing you hear a man say is, well, men experience it too. Well, men deal with this. Never hear them talk about it any other time. Apart from complaining about how they have to, pay for the date, you never hear men talking about issues that honestly fall under feminism if we're talking about equality for all or equity for all, but you never hear them bring up these things on their own. It's always in response to what a woman is going through. I don't know, but I feel like the reason this is because a lot of issues affecting men's mental health comes from their male counterparts and not from women, and that's harder for them to address. And obviously this is a blanket statement, and there's men that do care about mental health, and there's plenty of women that care about men's mental health, because when men aren't mentally sound, which happens a lot, we are usually the victims in that. But I just found it a little bit odd. I don't know, just an observation.
Now, I want y'all to understand this clearly, that this is going to be the continual conversation until change start happening within us, brothers. Now, once again, I know that a lot of these clips that I'm sharing with you so far, it goes with a feminist perspective, okay? But many of their talking points, it do have some validity behind it. Because we do need to talk about it, but however, we don't talk about it. And the reason why we don't talk about it is because, unfortunately, due to societal norms, due to the patriarchy, right, we feel that it's taboo for us to say anything about it. Or if we do say something about it, then it make us appear as weak, so we just supposed to just suck it up. That is not the truth at all, brothers. That is not the truth. Period.
I'm finna tell y'all how I feel about that. Y'all be saying y'all be going through a lot of shit mentally. Y'all be hurt. Y'all just be wanting somebody to vent to. For one, if I ask you what's wrong, if I ask you to vent to me, if I try to give you emotional support and you don't want to do that, I'm not finna force shit out of nobody. And I'm pretty sure the person that you're talking to, they ask y'all what's wrong all the time, and y'all choose not to open up. Y'all think y'all just so tough and want to hold all that shit in, and y'all get mad when we're not there for y'all emotionally because y'all don't want us to be there. Some women care about y'all feelings, some women don't. A motherfucker who don't, just get her from around y'all. But if y'all run to a real woman who care about how y'all feel, I feel like you should be safe enough to open up to her. Finding somebody who really care about y'all feelings, that's rare. So if a person asks you what's wrong and really want to hear how you feeling and want to like change things to make you happier, I feel like y'all should open up. Like, it's okay. Like, I hate when y'all be like, women don't care about our feelings anyways. Nah, the women y'all choose don't care about y'all feelings. Pick a better person. Y'all be on the verge of ending it all because y'all want to hold everything in, thinking y'all so tough. Like, everybody need emotional support. I don't care how tough y'all think y'all are, everybody need emotional support. Like, life not easy for nobody. Everybody go through shit. Everybody got childhood traumas. Everybody hurting. Everybody, it's always something, okay? So we all human.
One of the main reasons why men do not open up is because of fear. Once again, one of the main reasons why men do not open up to their women is because of fear. Now, I know this sounds ridiculous to, women who are watching right now because they're so used to us being strong and fearless, right? But here's the honest to God truth. It is true that we're strong and fearless. Sometimes fearlessness, valor and different things like that, it can make us become reckless, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. But, however, the truth is this. When it comes to our actual emotions, once again, when it comes to our actual emotions, we are afraid. We are terrified. You should be asking yourself the question, why? Why is that so? Why are men terrified of their emotions? Why they're afraid of their emotions? The reason why we're afraid of our emotions is because our emotions is like looking into a mirror. It creates vulnerability. Now imagine us carrying this, right? Carrying this vulnerability, right? And you decide to give another person access to that, which in this case is a woman. What end up typically happening is that part of this, the thing what she's saying, I do agree with, it's true. Because I talk about it all the time on the lounge about vetting properly. So imagine this. Imagine that you end up not vetting properly of the woman, right? And you get with this woman. And then all of a sudden you start pillow talking with this woman and you start becoming vulnerable. You're already afraid to open yourself up to this woman, but for some reason, emotionally, you feel like that you can trust her. And so you do. What ended up happening? Every man in this chat could attest to this. What ultimately ended up happening is that said woman, who we chose, right, ended up weaponizing that against us. And it happened time and time again. And here's the interesting point about this. This isn't just dealing with older men. This is dealing with younger men as well too. Younger men, this is dealing with children. This was dealing with in this particular case, dealing with boys, because mothers do the same thing to their sons too. Yes. When their son decide to open up, right, and become emotional, guess what they do? They emasculate him. Am I lying about that? If they son end up opening up about a certain situation that really, really bothered them, they most definitely will have the concern of being the nurturer and stuff, right? But as long as that nurturing doesn't overlap with them personally, right, or make them feel some type of way, then it's fine. But once when it overlaps, then that's when they're going to weaponize that. They're weaponizing against their sons. They will weaponize it against their husbands. They'll weaponize it against their brothers, boyfriends. And this is the reason why men do not open up to women, because now it has become such a realistic stereotype, right? Where every man can relate to this. Now, men do not trust women, period, with their feelings and emotions. So therefore, that's why they hide it inside. That's why they carried it. Because they're afraid that you're going to slander their character. And that is the God honest truth. So ain't the point, ladies, that we just refuse to do it because we just acting super macho. It's the whole point is that we learn through experience. That's how the way we operate as men. We learn through experience. We learn through actions. We learn through repeated patterns. And so it's logical to us is that if we see this repeated pattern over and over again, not only through ourselves, but through our other brothers and our other counterparts as well too, guess what? We don't want to repeat that same mistake. And so guess what? We're not going to do it. That's the reason why we don't open up. Now, once again, that's to redirect it. I also agree with her saying that if you find a actual good woman, then yeah, you should open up to her. You should be able to. But the unfortunate part about it is that it takes for you to master vetting. It takes for you to mastering yourself where you're not caught or captivated on just the woman look. And a lot of our brothers fall victim to this every single time, including myself in the past, where we look at looks. Looks is way more important than character than substance, because we have been drilled. We have been taught to be that way. But it's time for us to reprogram ourselves to stop doing that. Now, once again, it is okay to be drawn to a woman initially for her looks. But after when you be drawn to her, right, your next process is that you should be immediately vetting that woman. You should go beyond her looks, beyond what she say, beyond her smiling at you and saying, little things to make you feel good. You should go beyond that and start asking open-ended questions to see, do she align with your current worldview, your current life, your current program. That's what we should be doing. And I say this as well too, brothers, all the time, is that, guess what? This thing that I'm telling you about is by vetting, right? This is one of the things that protect us as men, for real. If you know how to do it properly, if you know how to master it, it literally will save your life as a man. It will. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you're enjoying this content, man, I'm really throwing out some wisdom to you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up to support the channel, all right? So, Let's take a look at this clip. Is this another clip with you know what? I'm gonna avoid this because I want to get to the problem clip real quick because I know y'all was asking about that. All right, but let me get to it. All right, let's talk about it. We're gonna start with this one first. So we're gonna jump into the Pride Month clip because I want y'all to understand clearly the reason why men's mental health and Pride Month is on the same month, all right? But let's listen to these couple of clips, all right?
You're gay. You are gay. Oh, you're gay. You're gay.
So the emasculation, it begins, right? But we finna get into it, all right?
You know, I see a lot of niggas saying, why do I see Pride Month and Men's Mental Health Month in June? Like, why are they both in June? And if you really sit here and think about it, a lot of y'all niggas are DL. A lot of y'all niggas are DL, and they want you to use this time to just come on out and just be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no use to you walking around acting like that you don't like that and you really like that. And a lot of y'all are getting exposed and still trying to deny it. So that's why they have them both in the same month, so y'all can just come to y'all senses and just get y'all shit together and just come on out the closet. And if you want me to be honest, I respect a gay man before a DL nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because the gay man, at least he walking around being truthful. A DL nigga just walking around just lying to everybody and shit.
Men's mental health, for real. You don't even care about men's mental health. You as a man don't give a fuck about men's mental health. We're not even going to talk about the fact that there are men in the LGBT community. So we're going to ignore that you're talking about straight men's mental health. Let's circle back around to the fact that y'all don't actually care about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, because y'all are only using it as a talking point against Pride Month. Because if y'all did care, y'all wouldn't have tried to get that therapist and did get her fired for simply telling men to go to therapy. If y'all did care, y'all wouldn't have got mad at that guy who told y'all that he cut off all of his friends for not checking up on him after he got his surgery done, and just called him gay, flat out, for having emotions and feelings and setting boundaries. If y'all did care, y'all wouldn't try to ostracize every single man that came out and tried to tell his story about him getting SA'd. So let's wrap it up. Every single problem and thing that y'all complain about and try to bring to social media is caused by y'all. Y'all are your own ops, and y'all are the cause of your own demise. And y'all try to blame every other person except for men. Men are the reason why every system is set up in our society. Why do men have to be providers? Why do we have to pay for everything? Because y'all set it up to where back in the day women couldn't even fucking have jobs. Why aren't men allowed to cry? Like, why can't we talk about our real feelings? And why doesn't anyone listen to us when we get emotional? Because y'all made it unacceptable to show any type of feminine trait.
I know this is septic ring logic, okay? But hang in there, fellas. Hang in there. There's a method to the madness, all right?
At all. And yes, these systems were set up by the men way before y'all. Way before. But I hope that y'all know that y'all have the power to change it if you wanted to. But y'all are so deep into the patriarchy and love the benefits way too much that you're not willing to do any real work. And that is why you will continue to suffer.
I'm sorry, but seeing men come on this app talking about how it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is ironic and hilarious, because first off, y'all don't give a fuck about y'all own mental health, let alone y'all's friends' mental health. And in this whole Men's Mental Health Awareness Month thing, are the gay and bisexual men included in y'all's performative actions? Because 11 months, the other 11 months, y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all be making fun of y'all friends just for fucking smiling. So I'll be damned to believe that now you just give a fuck about your mental health, okay? Now, of course, yes, there are men out there, like the real men, not the performative men that are out there, like, boots to the ground and actually give a fuck about theirs and the people around them. But this performative shit that some people don't hear me doing is just, it's baffling. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, so you're hearing all the different concerns, right, dealing with men's mental health and why it's on the Pride Month, okay? You was hearing different language, such as the reason why it's on there is because men are actually DL, right? And this is coming from another man, right? And this man right here is talking about Men's Mental Health Month as well, and he's pretty much using the same talking point as well too. Okay. Then also using the term performative. The reason why they're using this term performative is because they believe that men only be concerned about this, only dealing with this month, and that's it. But that is bullshit.
That's bullshit.
This thing actually be talked about all year long, but unfortunately, it just don't be mainstream like other situations. In fact, over here at the lounge, we talk about it all the time in many different ways. Absolutely. But as you know, by me talking about certain situations like that, the algorithm is not going to push a lot of this. So it seems like we're not having these conversations, but in reality, we are talking about it. So many of y'all asking me in the chat about this. Why is it on Pride Month? Why is this shirt with Pride Month? Why is that important? Okay. Before I get to that, let me clarify this to you. Every year, a debate appears because Men Mental Health Awareness Month is in June. Okay. Now, some people will argue that Men's Mental Health Month isn't important, and others attempt to connect men's mental health to sexuality. Some even will make claims that men's mental health awareness only exists because heterosexual male are secretly on the down low. Now, I had did research, extensive research, and I have not found no evidence supporting none of these claims. However, mental health is not exclusively to any political ideology. It's not exclusive to any lifestyle. Hell, it's not even exclusive to any sexual orientation. Because mental health, it affects everyone. But in this particular case, mental health affects every man one way or the other. Whether you're a straight man, whether you're a gay man, whether you're bisexual, whether you're married, whether you're single, whether you're trans, whether you're a young man, an older man, whether you're religious, whether you're non-religious. Mental health belongs to all men. With that being said, the reason why men's mental health shares with Pride Month is because through my research, it was done strategically. It was done strategically, sorry. The reason why is this. We want to include every man who's dealing with mental health. No matter your lifestyle, no matter your sexual orientation, we purposely made it during Pride Month because we want every man to be included. That's the reason why they selected and have it in June, purposely. So yes, regardless of our other brothers' lifestyle, right? Well, if they want to be bi, DL, gay, wherever the case may be, trans, whatever it is, at the end of the day, biologically speaking, they are still our brothers. And therefore, mental health affects all of them, including us. And you want to know what I find interesting? This is what I find interesting. I find interesting that women didn't include their mental health on Pride Month. Go back and research it. I find it interesting that women didn't include, because women do have a mental health month as well too. But they didn't include it with Pride Month like how we did with our mental health. And once again, we did that intentionally. See, people believe that we did it intentionally to try to prove our masculinity, to try to overshadow Pride Month. No. Now, let me be clear on this as well too, so I can understand this clearly. Every heterosexual male do not give a damn about Pride Month. And I mean that as respectable as possible. We really don't. We don't care about what type of lifestyle another man or woman choose to want to live. We don't. We never cared about that. The only thing that we do care about is when social norms, when society try to push propaganda and an agenda on us. That's when we care. When they try to push propaganda and an agenda on us to force us to care. Now, every man that's listening to me right now, I guarantee that when it comes down to dealing with anything with the LGBTQ community, I could guarantee that these men are not homophobic like they try to push this agenda on us. But this agenda is an attempt to emasculate heterosexual males because we don't want to participate in their lifestyle. Or we may not agree with their lifestyle. At the end of the day, we have every right to either agree with the lifestyle or don't agree with it. We do. Just like every human on this planet have the right to live how the hell they want to live at the end of the day. But once again, reiterated, when it get pushed on us as propaganda, as a agenda, that's when we start caring about it. Using language talking about we're homophobic and all kind of crazy. So when we're not. We're not. In fact, we care about our fellow brothers. We really do. I could literally do a survey right now. And I guarantee if I do a survey right now, many of these brothers will let you know that they at least have maybe 1, 2, or maybe 3 homies who are either on the down low, who are straight out gay, even in this modern day time, probably have some who are trans as well too. And they don't care. They're cool. But once again, it becomes an agenda behind it. And that's what make us care about it. But just circling back around on this, right? We purposely wanted it to be on Pride Month because we want to include all our brothers, regardless of their sexual orientation. Because we know if we're suffering from mental health as being a heterosexual male, we know being either on the down low or having trans surgery and different things like that, I know that they're suffering from mental health as well too. Not only just because of what the lifestyle they're choosing to be, but social norms as well too. The fear of not being accepted. That's part of mental health. Brothers, am I lying? But that's the reason why it was on this day. Well, on this month, sorry. I want y'all to understand that a man's depression doesn't care who's he attracted to. A man's anxiety doesn't care about politics. A man's loneliness doesn't care about social movements. But man's mental health awareness month exists because men face unique mental health challenges and poor mental health outcomes. That's the issue. And if we're serious about helping men, then we need to stop politicizing men's mental health. Because suffering doesn't ask for your political affirmation before it shows up. It just shows up. Once again, shout out to everybody in the building. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Here's another thing, and I want to visit back on this real quick. I want to touch on this because this is important too, because this gentleman mentioned this, right? He had mentioned how the fellow brothers would sit up here and make fun of each other, right? So I want to go and visit this. I want to just cover this real quick, all right? Because in reality, this is true. Because this is what this brother's going to do.
If you a fucking man talking about men's mental health month, you a bitch. I done told y'all mental health don't matter. Do y'all see the fucking jokes women letting fly right now? One of the funniest ones, I ain't gonna lie, is when they said no, they was talking about Father's Day.
Salute.
They said Father's Day
Kid, what's up with
is
it, man?
in Pride Month. That's because you niggas is bitches. Say, bro, you gotta just laugh at this shit because women really just.
This is Zen. What's up?
That's why I don't do the macho man shit. Like, a woman gonna respect me. I wear a tuxedo. I put my foot down. That shit get you roasted out here, bro. Now, in y'all defense, in the macho man defense, the alpha man defense, the high value man defense, yeah, they gonna want y'all later on when the jokes is over and shit. They gonna be looking for a man to pay their bills, or they're gonna actually need a man somehow, and then those jokes ain't gonna be so funny. But in the moment, bro, men, we gotta learn to just let women joke sometime, bro. Sometimes, I know some of them not joking, but we gotta just laugh at this shit, bro. We are men. We know how to take on more adversity than women. So when they get to joking on you, bro, when they get to being super harsh on men, you just gotta realize that it's not a lot of real niggas in their life. And the way niggas is moving out here, that's why I ain't got no buddies like that. Niggas is lame, bro. So I don't really be quick to defend men because I don't give a fuck about y'all. Get to a motherfucking bag, man. Fuck a damn mental health month. The fuck is y'all talking about? I need to go to fucking work or stack up some fucking money, go sell some drugs or something. Fuck a men's mental health month.
See, this gentleman right here, right? This gentleman that's talking right now, right? This is the type of man that women will automatically associate us with. That's right off the bat. They will see this type of man and say, yeah, this is all of us. Every man thinks this way and behave this way. But in reality, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
This is one of why young brothers were, I tell you all the time on the lounge about being hyper emotional. Here's the same type of brother where when he end up having a crash out moment, right? When he end up getting with a woman who will take him there, right? He'll be that same brother that'll crash the hell out. He'll be the same type of brother where he's trying to express his masculinity, right? He'll be that same type of brother who ultimately will be abusive towards women. All in the disguise of being an alpha male. And that's facts. Men's mental health is no laughing matter. Period. It's not. Just like other things that happen, women's mental health and all this stuff. It's no laughing matter. Period. It's not. It's no joke. It's no laughing matter. It's no fucking nothing like that. It's a serious matter. Because there are men who are seriously dealing with mental health issues for real. There are men that are out there who are seriously suffering in silence. There are men out there who are looking for support. And they got fucked up friends like this who say this stupid ass shit. And that's all they got in their immediate circle is dudes like this. And it's giving them that. Just imagine you having a friend like this, right? Or you call this a friend or a homeboy or whatever, right? And he give you this type of advice. So you literally dealing with some stuff. You dealing with some stuff that could literally destroy you. It could make you become depressed. part of your mind, you could want to feel lonely and defeated. And eventually you want to unalive yourself. And you go to try to confide in him for some advice. And this old hoe ass Negro right here set up her come up here and say, fuck that. You got the man the hell up, boy. Shoot, we men, we carry all this.
That's bullshit.
Y'all remember when I was telling y'all earlier about the whole vetting thing, right? And I was using that when I was telling y'all about vetting women. I also believe that you should vet your friends as well, to your homies, your homeboys, the one that you call your friends, your brothers. Absolutely, you should. Because when you start learning to vet people in general, you'll learn a lot about them for real. You will learn who is really for you. You'll learn who is there because they just what is known as what's that word? Oh, energy vampire. They're known as an energy vampire, right? Where they deciphering your energy so they can make themselves feel good and better. They the same type of ones where you share an ideal or anything with them and they'll talk down on it. Oh, they're stupid. But at the same time, they'll steal your ideal. Energy vampires. So yeah, you should absolutely vet your friends. A matter of fact, I challenge y'all tonight. The ones that you consider as friends, I challenge you tonight to vet them out. Have like a real heart-to-heart, open-end conversation with them to see where their mind is really at. If they pass the test and they prove to you that they are indeed truly your friends, then they are worth it to have them for a lifetime. But if they don't pass that test and they say some weird stuff, you know what I'm saying, and you really digging into their mind to see where their mind really at about how the way they feel and think about certain things, then that should let you know, got to cut them off. Got to cut them off. And that's for real. That's real talk. Now, what's interesting about this, y'all, is that if we turn this mirror around, right, some of the loudest critics of struggling men is actually other men. Now, once again, we as men, we grew up hearing nobody cares. We grew up hearing nobody cares. What's the other thing? Oh, stop crying. Life isn't fair. Figure it out yourself. Get over it. Suck it up. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, these messages become internal. And then guess what's going to happen? It's going to get passed down to younger men. And then this pain becomes a rite of passage. And then the suffering becomes a badge of honor. It becomes a generation curse. Instead of helping each other heal, some men compete over who suffers more. Crazy as hell, ain't it? But I want to remind you, gentlemen, that this isn't strength. What it is unhealed trauma disguised as strength. And accountability requires us to say something clearly. Say something like, men need to do a better job supporting each other. We need to do a better job on checking on each other. We definitely need to do a better job in building our brotherhood like we say we got it. We need to start having these difficult conversations with each other. We need to start holding ourselves accountable. If you know your fellow brother is on some bullshit, then you need to hold him accountable for that bullshit. And be real and honest. Because many men have nobody to talk to. And unfortunately, That's the problem, man. It's the problem. What I notice is this. I notice that one of the biggest challenges in addressing men's mental health is that male depression often doesn't look the way people expect it to look. Now, when most people think about the depression, they imagine sadness, right? They imagine crying, hopelessness, withdrawal. And while men absolutely can experience these symptoms, research shows that many men display depression differently. I'm going to share this with y'all so y'all can know the signs, okay? Here are some of the signs that you know that men are dealing with depression, all right? Some of these y'all probably be already aware of, but I'm going to let you know. And a lot of these that I'm going to share with y'all, especially the women who are watching right now, this will let you know why the man was behaving the way that they're behaving with you. Y'all ready for it? Now here's some of the signs of depression, all right? The first one's dealing with irritability, meaning that the dude is irritated all day, every day. The second one is dealing with him just being angry all the time. The next one is him being frustrated. The next one is dealing with him being aggressive. And here's another one, interesting one when I researched it right, is dealing with having risk-taking behaviors that's not beneficial. Now, keep in mind that we as men, we're built to take risks, okay, which we don't mind. But when it becomes unhealthy risks or when it becomes unrealistic risks, then that's a sign of desperation, which leads to depression. Here's a noticeable one. Whenever the increase of substance happens, meaning that any type of drug-related thing, such as alcohol or any type of drugs involved, when they increase, that's a sign of depression. Here's another interesting one too, as well too. I'm sure with you. When a man start overworking himself, meaning that he decide to make himself extremely busy, where he end up disassociating himself with culture, society, even with the people who he's around with, whether it's the wife, children, girlfriend, whatever. Overworking. That's a sign of depression. Emotional shutdown is a sign of depression as well too. And last but not least, social isolation is a sign of depression. Now, I want y'all to understand this clearly that many men don't even realize they're struggling with depression because they thinking that they just simply stress, or they're just saying that they're tired. Or here's one I hear all the time. I'm just burnt out. I'm just angry. I'm just having a rough month. But meanwhile, underneath those feelings, it may be depression, grief, loneliness, trauma, anxiety, or even hopelessness. And them symptoms are there. But I want y'all to understand that it can be expressed in different ways, but it's there. Because this matter is that we only look for depression the way it commonly appears, preferably in women. We may completely miss what depression looks like in men because it's different. And many men suffer for years without realizing what they're actually dealing with. Once again, if you're enjoying this content, man, I'm dropping all this knowledge for y'all today. Make sure you hit the thumbs up to support the channel. Those of y'all who are tuning in right now, we are discussing Men's Mental Health Month, and we're discussing why people don't care about it. Okay. My whole overall argument of this stream today is to bring you awareness that, men, I care. I care about men's mental health. I care not only about my mental health, but I care about your mental health as well, too, as a fellow brother. Some of these things, or many of these things, I have experienced. And it took for me going through the fire, it took for me learning to cope and deal so I could want to be set free. And by me being set free now, I have a responsibility to educate my fellow brothers, because when I was dealing with these situations, right, I didn't know nothing about none of this stuff. Nobody didn't teach me this or none of that. But I learned it just through the test of time, through experience. And so now it's my responsibility as your fellow brother to share these information, not only these professional information I'm giving to you, but personal life experience, anecdotal experience that I have dealt with, and share with you. So hopefully we could spread this thing around and educate each other. Each one teach one. Earn sharpens earn. And also teaching this younger generation that's coming up as well too, because they're dealing with mental health as well too. So it's our responsibility as men to teach each other. The only way, once again, I know that over here at the Lounge Channel, we talk about a lot of red pill content. We talk about a lot of awareness, right? But in order for overall our women to get it together and get it right, it first starts with us, gentlemen. We got to get it together and get it right. We got to hold ourselves accountable for a lot of things that we have been programmed to believe. We got to let go of a lot of things that we dealt with in the past. We do. But it's okay, brothers. I'm getting ready to share another clip, but I also want y'all to understand this. And this is for my brothers, all right? I want y'all to understand that it is okay to not be okay. Now, once again, I want y'all to understand this clearly, brothers, that it's okay to not be okay. Now, being a man doesn't mean to be invisible. Being a man, it doesn't mean that you'll never have the feeling of feeling fear. Being a man doesn't mean you'll never feel sadness. Being a man doesn't never mean that you're never gonna feel anxiety. Being a man doesn't mean that you're carrying every burden on your own or by yourself, or as we call, carrying your cross. I want you to understand that the strongest men know this. They know that men, they know that, how can I put this? Okay, let me reword it like this. I know that men aren't men who never struggles. Okay. I know that the strongest men are the one who willing to acknowledge reality. Because you can't solve a problem if you refuse to admit that it exists. So check this out. If you're struggling with anything, right, acknowledge it. It is nothing wrong with it. It's not going to make you weak by acknowledging it. Acknowledge it. If you're hurting, acknowledge it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, acknowledge it. A matter of fact, brothers, I had to put myself through the fire and finally start acknowledging these things. Because once when you acknowledge it, when you be honest with yourself, right, guess what? That honesty is the first step towards your healing, brothers. Because the overall problem is it isn't feeling the pain. The problem is pretending pain doesn't exist. And I find this interesting too, because many of my brothers, right? Many of y'all, at least that's what you should be doing, right? Many of y'all, y'all go and work out, you go to the gym and you do all these, different conditioning things, right? Correct? When you're putting your body through these different circumstances, right, you are experiencing what is known as pain. Right? I'm pretty sure when you're doing your workout, right, I'm pretty sure you don't got it in your head saying that pain doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure each rep that you do, you're acknowledging this level of pain that you're experiencing within your body, whether it's through your muscles or triceps, biceps, whatever the case may be, whatever type of regimen that you're doing, whatever type of workout that you're doing, you acknowledge it right then and there. Correct? But I find it interesting that when it comes to mental pain, we've been programmed to not acknowledge it. We've been programmed to put it deep inside our mind until one day we crash the hell out. That's not correct, brothers. Because what we suppress eventually finds another way out. And it may come out as anger, or it could probably come out as an addiction. It could want to come out as bitterness. It could come out as self-destruction. But I guarantee you this, brothers, that it will come out. It will come out. And I want y'all to understand that healthy men don't suppress the reality. Healthy men confront reality because that is our duty as men. We got another clip that I want to share with y'all, brothers. Let me know what you think about this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back to this clip. Let's hear her out on this clip. All right, let's hear her out. All right.
Yes, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's interesting that men think that feminists don't care about men's mental health when the patriarchy itself is why you don't feel comfortable talking about your mental health. You feel like you have to keep it all in and be strong and macho and masculine. And we're the ones trying to break you free from that feeling too. We're trying to tell you that you need to talk to somebody and that it's okay to talk to somebody. Just telling you that it's going to be okay and I support you isn't enough, even though your partner should be doing that too. But that's not enough. You need to do more for you. Set the appointment, get the help you need. That can't be on your wife to do. But that's the problem though. Most men don't want to seek therapy. They don't want to talk to another person about their problems. That's looked as weak. So I'm not sure what you expect because your wife can't be your therapist. She can't fix all of your problems. I know she handles everything else in your life and manages all the things, but she can't fix that part. All she can do is be there for you and support you. You're going to have to be the one that does something about it though.
Now let's talk about it because she mentioned about the patriarchal system, right? Now over here at the Lounge Time, I did several episodes talking about the patriarchal system. I literally exposed how the way the past patriarchal system was, through the founding fathers. All right, but just to give you just a quick synopsis of it, I was letting us know that the patriarchal system, where the original foundation patriarchal system was absolutely, absolutely, absolutely toxic as hell. Absolutely it was. Because the original patriarchal system from my founding fathers here in America, right, they believe in domestic discipline. They believe in treating women as property instead of human beings. They believe in control and power. They believe in slavery as well too. So while all these things was happening within the original patriarchal system, right, women decide to, well, let me give a race in this situation. White women decide to go ahead and revoke against the system, but at that time they did not have enough power to do it. So guess what they did? During the Jim Crow era, they had talked to the black slaves. They had talked to one of the black slaves, and they had the black slaves to be a part of their movement. This movement is known as civil rights. So once when they convinced them to be part of the movement, then that's when everything started taking place. Where they end up infiltrating the political structures and stuff, right? Where they start infiltrating it and start creating laws regulating due to the first wave of the feminist movement. So like I said, I'm not going to go into detail about it because I already explained this extremely in detail about all this. You know what I'm saying? But long story short, she do have a point with the patriarchal system because, yes, the original foundation patriarchal system was, in fact, extremely abusive. And they was teaching fellow brothers and fellow sons to follow suit to be as abusive as well, too. That is truth, and that is documented in history. Okay. Now, the thing about it is that she mentioned this. She mentioned that men don't want to open up and talk about it, which I didn't say this earlier, the reason why we don't do that. But she had to understand, once again, the reasoning why we don't do it. She got to understand that, once again, that we are very sensitive about our emotions and feelings. I'll say this. I'll say that men are way more sensitive about their emotions and feelings than women are. Now, the only difference is that women are taught to use their emotions for their overall decision makings, but we don't. We use logic first, then our emotions behind it. But women use emotions, then logic following behind it. Okay. Let me share this on clip with y'all too.
People got real pissed at me last year when I was like, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month should not share a month with Pride. I stand by that. Y'all don't give a fuck. Now y'all want to take a month from us? No. And more importantly, y'all don't really care about your mental health. I'm going to be so fucking for real. Y'all love to say that men's mental health matters. You don't give a shit about your own mental health, because if you fucking did, you would be practicing instances of self-love. You wouldn't be going fussing to a girl about how your mental health matters. My mental health fucking matters. That's why when I leave this podcast, I'm going to go home, sip on a glass of wine. Like I said, I'm probably going to dance to Selena now, light all the candles in my room. On Monday, I'm going to do my skincare. I am putting myself first.
Now, I want to ask my brothers this question real quick, all right? And I'm just really just curious about this, all right? Do you really care about your mental health? Once again, do you really care about your mental health? Or are you the brother who don't give a damn about it? And if you do care about your mental health, what are you doing to protect your mental health? How does that look like? What is your process behind it? And I believe that these are legitimate questions that we need to ask ourselves, because if we indeed do care about our mental health, we should have a process behind it that we do daily. I'm give y'all an example. That's me personally, what I do with my mental health. There are several things that I do. The first thing is this: I do is what is known as daily affirmations. Now, daily affirmations, it includes me getting into a quiet place, having conversations with the Most High God. The affirmations include me encouraging myself, not relying on other people to do it, but me personally encouraging myself. I have aligned myself with a small circle of friends who will hold me accountable for the choices and decisions that I make. And likewise, I do the same with them. I make sure that I'm doing everything possible to keep myself healthy as possible. Here's another thing that I do too. Those of y'all who know right now, who watch me right now, y'all know that I'm a content creator, and you know that I'm an influencer as well too. Guess what I do? I take time off from even being on social media. I literally cut off everything social media related. I don't look at chats. I don't go live. Now, for us, the workforce, me posting shorts and community posts, what I do is that before I take my day off for doing that, guess what? I schedule out posts. So a lot of times when y'all be seeing them posts be popping up, y'all be thinking I'm literally posting right in there. Nope. I done scheduled out them posts almost like a day or two in advance. And so they already been scheduled out, they going. And guess what? I don't look at my phone. I don't look at my device. I don't even worry about what's happening on social media, on my channel or anything like that. I take that time out and spend, first of all, time with myself. And I go do things for myself, by myself, such as go to the park, such as do some workouts. Hell, I even take myself to dinner. I done took myself to the movie as well too, because those things I just enjoy doing. So that's why I'm asking y'all these questions, brothers. What are you doing personally for your mental health? How does that look like? What type of personal hobbies do you have that when you do it, it just make you feel great? Will it make you want to live life? That life is worth it. That no matter what you're going through, when you enter into this particular space, you feel uplifted. You feel encouraged. You feel at peace. Because I know, I get it, brothers. Because some of y'all going to say, Urban, well, shoot, my woman is my peace. Well, in reality, your woman really shouldn't be your peace. Your peace should come within you, to be honest. So once again, I'm just challenging y'all on that. How did that look like to you? What are you doing for your mental health? Here's another clip I want y'all to consider, right?
I'm going to say something that needs to be said. Any of you women that are coming on this fucking app and making a video and being all ha he and giggling and this, that, and the third about Men's Mental Health Month, just because you've had men that doesn't pay attention to your fucking mental health, you are just as bad as those fucking men. You are just as bad as those fucking men.
And yeah, that's true. Whenever you have women out here, which there are women indeed out here who are making fun of this, right? Trust me, I have experienced it. Both personally and also on social media, preferably on social media. I had came across many different women who would make fun of this. They'll laugh about this like it's a joke like it's a joking matter, but in reality, it's not. It's not a joking matter. Just like I shared with you the clip with men who does that. But it's not a joking matter. It's not. Matter of fact, let's deal with this real quick. I want to talk to y'all about solutions, because that's what I do over here at the lounge. I hold people accountable, but I also give solutions. I'm not this content creator who want to grift off of y'all to keep you in an angry state. But I legitimately want you to be the better version of yourself, gentlemen. So that's why I present the problem. I present data while talking about the problem. And everything that I have shared with you, it is peer review. And everything that I talk about is peer review. You could go back to my video description and you'll see all the articles that I have covered talking about this. Okay. But it's my goal to present the problem, the transition to the accountability part. Then my ultimate goal is for us to come up with reasonable solutions where we can move forward. Because I do not want you to be in the same state. I want you to evolve, be the better version of yourself. A lot of content creators doesn't do that, because a lot of content creators that I have been around with, they literally will grip you. They'll grip you because your anger, your emotions, and different things like that. But I want to see the best version of you. But let's talk about what she was talking about earlier, about what this young lady was talking about earlier, the shaming tactics and different things like that, right? Because I believe it's important for us to talk about it. Now the mocking, the shaming, the ridicule, the jokes, right? This dismissal by men's mental health, it got to stop. It really do. Because men's mental health, once again, it is not a joking matter. And to be honest with you, it annoys the hell out of me when people do that. Because depression is not a joke. Anxiety is not a joke. Having suicidal thoughts is definitely not a joke. Loneliness is not a joke. A man breaking down under years of pressure is not entertainment. Yet every day we see men being mocked for expressing pain. And I don't like it at all, period, to be honest with you. So we have a man who say he's struggling, and someone responds by saying some stupid shit, talking about man up or stop crying. Nobody care, get over it. Tighten up, Buttercup. That's a new one I heard. Stop being soft. You act like a victim. Stop being sassy and gay. Unfortunately, the message is clear that they're saying that, in other words, what they're saying is they're saying that your pain is inconvenient to them. They're saying that your emotions as a man is unwelcome. They're saying that your struggles don't matter to them. Imagine this. Imagine if someone with a broken leg, right? And you tell that person with a broken leg to just walk it off. Just walk it off. You be all right. Imagine someone having a heart attack and you tell them to stop being weak because they're having a heart attack or a stroke. Imagine this. Imagine either a man or a woman who been sexually assaulted, who been raped, who been molested. Imagine that, right? And you tell them to walk it off. You tell them that their experience don't matter. You tell them to suck it up, buttercup. You be all right. Man up or woman up. Y'all see how disingenuous this is and inconsiderate that this is too? And by saying things like that, you don't know where people's mental state is at. You damn well surely don't know if that saying was that person's last straw with dealing with what it is that they're dealing with. But yet it still is fun and games, huh? Laugh it up. Next thing you know, you're looking at one article in a news report that this person didn't unalive themselves or unalive other people. I have seen countless of news stories, articles. As a matter of fact, y'all watching on YouTube right now, y'all could go on the True Crime channel over here on YouTube and you watch several episodes of these true crimes where men, right? These said type of men had enough, and guess what they end up doing? Unaliving themselves, unaliving their women, unaliving the children. We done seen it countless of times. But prior before that, suck it up. Instead of giving that person something where they could hold on to just a little while longer, where they could figure out whatever it is that they're going through, something, anything. Your response, suck it up. Then have the audacity to circle back around and say, yeah, this is the destructive nature of men. See, I told y'all that men are this way. I told y'all you can't trust men. But we don't want to deal with the accountability part. We don't want to deal with what happened prior before that. We don't want to deal with it. Yeah, I'm trying to remain as stoic as possible on this because, like I say, I'm really passionate about this for real. I really am. And I don't take this as a joking matter, period. You know, most people would immediately recognize how absurd everything I said, right? Everything I said. Most people will recognize this as being absurd, that this is crazy. Why would you do this? Why would you say these things? But the truth is that untreated mental health issues can destroy lives. It can. Bonner, what's up with it, bro? It can destroy marriages. It can destroy careers. It can destroy relationships. It can even destroy families. And in many cases, it could cost a man his life. Brothers, this is why it is very important that accountability matters. Because if you claim to care about mental health, then care when the person is suffering, especially if it's your fellow brother. If you claim to support their awareness, then support their awareness when struggling people don't fit your preferred narrative. I'm putting it to y'all this way. We're talking about men's mental health, but guess what? I care about women's mental health. I do. I care about the things that women struggle about. I absolutely do. I do. I know and I can acknowledge that many of our brothers have a lot of work to do. We do. But I'm not going to dismiss it just because of my past anecdotal experience. Just imagine this. Just imagine me and the things that I done share with you on this platform, right, about my personal experience that I done dealt with women and the choices I made and stuff, right? Just imagine me end up holding on to that and then incorporating it into this pain and anger and different things like that. They have the audacity to say fuck women and their mental health. What would that make me? That will make me just as guilty and screw the hell up. It would. Absolutely, it would. I want y'all to understand that that compassion cannot be selective, and empathy cannot be conditioned, y'all. A man's pain is still his pain, period. A man's depression is still his depression. His trauma is still his trauma. And most definitely, his life do matter. That's why I keep telling y'all brothers over and over again that you matter. And you are important. You're listening right now to this podcast. I'm letting you know that you are important. There's a purpose why you're here right now. So especially listening to this. Because you matter. And this the interesting thing about it, brothers, that it don't matter about your race. It don't matter about politics. It don't matter your income. It don't even matter about your sexual orientation. What matters is that you matter. Now, this thing that I'm talking to y'all about tonight, man. Once again, it's not dealing with it's not dealing with politics. It's not dealing with cultural wars, gender war, or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's about helping our fellow brothers who are hurting. And if we are serious about helping our brothers heal, then the damn mocking must stop. Period. The shaming must stop. And the ridicule must stop as well too. And the reason why, because for many men, this issue is literally a life and death thing. And it is no laughing matter, period. Now, I've been on sharing with y'all different clips and stuff, right? But I want to share a couple of last clips with y'all for tonight for your consideration. Gentlemen, I want to let you know that there are actual women who really do care about your mental health. Once again, there are women who really do legitimately care about your mental health. These are the type of women that you should vet out and that should be a part of your circle. A matter of fact, let's consider this clip.
Hey guys, so it's Men's Mental Health Month, and I know I get on here, saying fuck niggas ain't shit and all that, but today on a serious note, I just want to take a moment and talk to the men real quick, because I feel like just as much as I motivate the girls, the men deserve the same too. So this is for the men that always feel like they gotta be strong, the men still paying the bills while stressed, the ones taking care of everybody while nobody really checks on them, the ones that fight battles in their heads that they don't ever really talk about. I just want to say that you don't always have to carry everything by yourself. And no, this isn't me saying that people owe you sympathy or that life is easy. I'm just saying that you're human. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay for something to hurt. And it's okay to talk. Because suffering in silence might look strong to the world, but healing is strength too. So if nobody told you today or yesterday or last week, I just want to say that I'm proud of how far you came. I'm proud of you for making it this far. Keep going. The world needs good men. Your family needs you. Your future needs you. And whatever you're carrying alone right now, I know society tells you to, but don't carry it alone. Happy Men's Mental Health Month. And for my ladies, go check on a man that you love today. Okay? All right.
Everything that she was saying I agree with, but it's one thing that she said that I don't agree with. And I had addressed it before a long time ago, and I'm gonna address it again. I don't like this whole notion where women use to try to separate men. And this is what I mean. She had mentioned good men, okay? Once again, she mentioned about good men. I don't believe in the concept about good men. Because when you use that label as good men, that means as long as this man is doing things according to your narrative, your purpose, right? What you can get out of this man, that he's considered as good. That's a bullshit narrative.
That's bullshit.
I don't believe in the whole narrative of a good man. I believe in the narrative of a man, period. I believe that us as men, we have positive traits about ourselves, and we have negative traits about ourselves as well, too. We make certain decisions that could be considered as beneficial, and then we make decisions that are not as beneficial at all, period. But when women use this narrative as good men, they, to be honest with you, brothers, when they use the term good men, they're literally talking about the beta man. Let's be straight up honest with you.
Beta!
That's literally what they're talking about. If a woman ever call you a good man, they is literally call you a beta man. Because that is their social norm ideology of what a good man is. Long as he's soft, long as he's submissive, long as he plays according to her rule and make her happy and sacrifice his own happiness, right? That he's considered as a good man. Long as he work himself to death to have a substantial income so she could live a lifestyle that she's comfortable living in, that he considers as a good man. But all that is bullshit.
That's bullshit.
That doesn't determine you being a good man, brother, at all, period. Or brothers, it don't. Don't fall for that narrative, because it is not true. Once again, brothers, it is okay. It is okay for you to do things out of the kindness of your heart. It is okay for you to do positive things because that's what you want to do, because that's part of who you are. And it's also okay for you to make bad choices and bad decisions. You want to know why that's okay? The reason why it's okay, because at the end of the day, brothers, we are human. We're human beings. We're living a once-in-a-lifetime experience. So we're going to make decisions that's going to be good. We're going to make decisions that's going to be bad. We're going to make decisions that are terrible. But that is life. Case in point, I don't consider myself as a good man according to women's standards. In fact, if I were to give women my things that I done been through, right, the women would say that I'm not a good man. Hell, they didn't say that over on social media, like, that dude ain't a good man at all, period. But that's based on their personal ideology about what a good man look like. So I done made choices and decisions that I even regretted. It's okay to regret decisions. I know there's a narrative out there in the red pill community where, hey, you shouldn't regret nothing. A man shouldn't be emotional and all this stuff. That's bullshit. Don't fall for that, brothers. It's okay to regret things. Because when you regret things, that means it's bringing it back on your remembrance. Meaning that that's something that you're not going to forget. Meaning that it should teach you a lesson to not do that thing again. Should be a learning lesson. Should be something that you're mastering, because every single day we should be evolving. Through evolution, we have to go through the fire of some things. We have to deal with things that's either considered as good or bad. But at the end of the day, it's life. And it's okay. Some of y'all brothers right now who are tuning into this podcast, y'all probably made some terrible mistakes. Horrible mistakes. And it led you into you having this mental episode that you're doing right now. It's okay. It is absolutely okay. Now, I want you to understand that I'm not acknowledging the wrong you're doing to try to justify it or say that it's okay for you to do it again. No, that ain't what I'm doing. What I'm telling you, brothers, is that it is okay because you are a human being. You're a man. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make decisions that's it is what it is. But the important part about this, brothers, is for you to first acknowledge what it is. Acknowledge the reality of what it is. You fucked up. Acknowledge that. Then from that point, you start holding yourself personally accountable. Then here's a big one that I personally had to learn this. I personally had to learn to forgive myself for the transgressions that I had did, not only to myself, but to others. I personally had to learn to forgive myself because I was being hard on myself. Likewise with you, brothers. You have to learn to personally forgive yourself for the transgressions that you done did. Forgive, don't forget, but however, let it go so you can move forward. Hold yourself accountable so you could progress. Final clip for tonight, brothers.
June is Men's Mental Health Month. And by the end of this video alone, another man will be struggling in silence. By the end of today, thousands of men will be battling depression, anxiety, stress, and emotional pain without telling anybody. By the end of the week, countless men will be convinced themselves that they can't carry it all alone anymore. And by the end of this year, far too many men will lose their lives to mental health struggles and suicide. Listen, King, it's okay to be a man and not be okay. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to carry every burden by yourself. Strength is not pretending that everything is fine. Strength is having the courage to ask for help whenever you need it. Please talk to somebody, a friend, a family member, a mentor, a therapist, anybody, somebody. We need you here. And if nobody told you today, you are loved, you are appreciated, and you matter. Take care of yourself, King. The world is better with you in it.
One of the biggest mistakes that I have made, right, is this. One of the biggest mistakes that I have made when I was going through situations I was going through is that I isolated myself. Once again, I isolated myself. I isolated myself from friends, from loved ones, from family. Hell, I even isolated myself from the Most High God. Sure did. I didn't have the mindset back then to acknowledge that it's going to be okay, to acknowledge that I actually needed help. I needed assistance. And the reason why is because through my upbringing, I was taught to be the strong man, to carry the cross, to carry this burden and everything like that. But the more I did it, the more I did it right, the worse it got, the harder it got, to a point where I couldn't carry it no more. Then eventually, it become a crash out moment. But I don't desire that from you, brother, said our prayer. I don't want you to go through that circumstance. It's better for you to be around a community of people who's going to help you process this thing, who's going to be fair with you, who's going to help you, who's going to give you support, not because they're trying to get something out of return from you, but truly because they care about your well-being. Now, if you're part of a certain type of community, however way that looks like to you, and they're not doing that for you, then you already know that you did not vet properly. Them or not your real support. So therefore, I know that men don't like this. If you don't have this community, right, or you have a community and they're not helping you out, it is better for you to get outside resources such as therapy or wherever the case may be. Some it may look like with therapy. It may be you probably need to connect to a religion or something. Wherever the case, however that looks like for you. It is important for you to connect yourself or plug yourself into this so it can help you transition out of any type of mental situations that you're dealing with. Especially if you're dealing with extreme mental issues such as bipolar disorders and different things like that. It is better for you to be connected and plugged in than to deal with it by yourself. And that's the God honest truth, brothers. Now I know that awareness without change is nothing. If you genuinely care about men's mental health, then I encourage you to check on us men. Not just when tragedy happens, right? Not just when, men end up crashing out. Not when, we hit rock bottom, but just literally check on us. Like every day, just check on us. Even if we're doing good, check on us. You should have a support group that does that to you. Your community, the people who you're around, your family, your friends, your loved one, whoever the case may be, they should be doing that. They should be checking in on you. If they're not doing that, then that lets you know what they're about. That they do not care about you. I often do this. I often check in on people. I ask them how they're doing. Then I ask again how you really doing, right? And then when I ask the question, I don't listen to judge. I listen to understand. I don't try to fix nothing. I just listen. I don't use my personal anecdotals to try to compare and contrast what it is that they're going through, which we tend to do, right? Which I get it, I understand it. But me personally, I just listen. I completely remove my anecdotal and put myself in their situation. I put myself in that situation so I can understand exactly how you're feeling in that particular moment. I believe that we should be doing the same exact way, where you're listening to understand. You take yourself out of the equation and you put yourself in that moment of how the way others is feeling. And I guarantee when you do that, then you start understanding clearly what it is that they're going through, because you're feeling it too. Many men, they spent years carrying burdens, man, that nobody knows about. Believe me, I know, because I do it. But I also understand this. I also understand that one conversation can change your life, for real. That's one. I understand that one conversation can prevent a tragedy. And one conversation can help a man realize that he's simply not alone. And to be honest, we need more of that. We need more of that, for real. Now let me talk to y'all brothers, all right? Because I do want to hold us accountable. I want y'all to understand that we cannot spend a entire episode talking about how society needs to do better, right? While refusing to acknowledge where men need to improve. And y'all know what I'm talking about, right, brothers? We can spend a whole entire moment, many of y'all react to my shorts and stuff, right? Where we be displaying modern women and different things like that, which it's all good. But we can't just be stuck there, right? While refusing to acknowledge that we as men need to improve ourselves. I know that many of y'all suffer in silence. But the problem is that y'all stay in silence for too long, man. And it's time to stop that. Many of my brothers indeed refuse therapy, counseling, even support groups. There are some of my brothers, they refuse honest conversations. Like, even if I have like an honest conversation, I'll just be bluntly real about it. It becomes a disagreement. It becomes a talking point. It becomes a debate. But I want to let y'all know that that's not strength, man. It's not strength at all. It's avoidance. And I want y'all to understand that accountability is recognizing when you need help and having the courage to seek it. It means being emotionally honest, not hyper emotionally, but emotionally honest. And learn accountability also means that you need to learn healthy coping mechanisms. Accountability also means that you need to develop emotional intelligence, because I have seen that many of our brothers is lacking emotional intelligence. They may think that they have emotional intelligence, but they are severely lacking it. Accountability means that expressing emotions is very healthy. Not being hyper emotional, once again, but expressing healthy emotions. That's fine. That's acceptable. And we need to stop suppressing them, man. We need to stop suppressing it, then all of a sudden exploding or crashing out. We need to learn how to manage them. Because the emotional mastery is part of our masculinity, brothers. It's not the absence of the emotion. It's the mastery of it, brothers. Man, we need to get better at talking too, on the cool though. We need to get better at building friendships. We also need to get better at checking in on one another as brothers. I have friends that I had known, since I was in elementary school, right? And they would call and check on me, and I'll call and check on them. Matter of fact, one of my moderators, we've been knowing each other, on YouTube for a little over 3 years. You know what I mean? Get ready to go on 3 years, right? And guess what that brother do? He always call and check on me. And I call and check on him. We both be encouraging one another. And that's how the way it's supposed to be. And once again, these things that I'm mentioning to you right now, brothers, is it don't make you weak. It actually make you strong. It make you courageous because you're sharpening iron. You're building strength. Now, last but not least, y'all, I want to leave y'all with this tonight. All right. Want to leave y'all with some solutions dealing with mental health. All right. This for the brothers. This for the brothers. This for y'all. Now, I want us to be serious about our physical health for real. If you are dealing with any type of mental thing, whether it's depression or whatever, what I found is just me personally, I found that when you go out and you just get out and you start exercising, you start working your body right, it releases something in you where it will get rid of the depression symptoms. As a matter of fact, I actually researched this too. It was a research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. And in this article, it found that physical activity significantly reduced symptoms of depression. It do. So, my brothers, do that. Start physically doing things for yourself, working out, eating right, getting your annual checkups, do different things like that. Don't be indulged in any type of substance abuse. Don't be an alcoholic. Walk daily, you know what I mean? Sleep is important as well, too. Make sure that you improve your sleep quality because that's very important. That's very important. Because us as men, our mind be working on a 24-hour cycle for real, like literally. Because we be thinking about so many different things that we could do throughout the day. And so we don't give our mind time to process and quiet down or power down for a little bit or go on sleep mode. So sleep is important too. We need that. Now, for us, the mental part, brothers, I've said this before and I'm saying this again. I want to encourage y'all to start writing. Start journalizing, your different experiences. Because I have found out when I start doing that right, or when I start journalizing a lot of things right, it helped me out a whole lot. It helped me to process a lot of things. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all so y'all think I'm playing. I literally do journalize stuff. Hold on, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. This right here is a collection of things that I done written, journalizing stuff. Now, it look way thicker than what y'all think, but I done journalize a lot of stuff that I done go through or I'm thinking about. And the interesting part about this, brothers, is that a lot of y'all know that I've been producing music as well, too. Do you know that a lot of my music that I had previously produced on this channel, it came from my journal that I wrote about through my life experiences? So I want to encourage y'all to do that. Just write it down. You don't have to be perfect with it. It don't have to be grammatically correct, but as long as you understand it and you can read it, then it's fine. Start journalizing. Start writing stuff down. And I'm telling you, when you start doing that, that's going to help you out. Start increasing your mental learning capabilities, meaning that start learning more. Start researching more. Learn something new that you never knew about. Become a jack of all trades, man. And I told you earlier, just reduce isolation. That's one of the worst things that you can do, especially if you're dealing with any type of mental health thing, is that you try to self-isolate. That is a huge no-no. Don't do that. Don't self-isolate. Don't do that. Now, dealing with like financial stuff, brothers, make sure that y'all are budgeting. Okay. Make sure that you're not overspending. Make sure that you're not living beyond your means. If you are in a career right now, right, where you feel like that it's just money, you're just making money just to be making money, I would encourage you to take the skills and ability that you have learned, right? I would encourage you to take the skills that you have learned from that job or that company, wherever you learned it from, right? I encourage you to do something different with it. Maybe do a little small startup thing that you're interested in doing. Like a little small startup business. It don't have to be nothing big. It'll be just something simple. And take all the skills that you done learn, because every job that you have been to had taught you a certain type of skills. They call it training. So you have skills and abilities, right? So take them skills and just do something simple with it. You know, just something small that you could say is for yourself and build revenue from that. Just start off small. I don't know how it look. It'd be selling lemonade. I don't know. Well, what your skill is. It'd be selling lemonade or whatever the case may be. But take that little small thing and incorporate it. And start building a source of revenue off of that, where eventually start becoming residual income. Case in point, like for example, with me, I learned a lot of different skills and stuff, right? But one of my biggest skills is that I learned how to, be a public speaker. I learned how to articulate myself, even though some people like to talk about me, but that's neither here nor there. But I learned how to speak. I learned how to do public speaking because I've been trained how to do that. I learned how to do research and analysis. And so I incorporate all that over here to this channel. And guess what? By me doing it, it has developed residual income. Because I'm sharing something to y'all that would be beneficial. It's not only just entertainment, but I'm literally sharing knowledge that I have learned and I'm passing it down. Because that's what we should be doing, brothers, is that we're passing it down so it can become our legacy. Now for us, the spiritual part. Those of y'all who study either the Christian Bible or, whatever it is that you call it, right? I want to share this quick scripture with you. There's one scripture in Galatians chapter 6, verse 2. It says this. It says for us to bear one another's burdens. And in so it fulfills the law of Christ. Once again, bear one another's burdens, and so fulfills the law of Christ. Notice what this verse doesn't say. It doesn't say carry every burden alone. It says bear one another's burden. And guess what that means? That means that that's a community. That means that it's support. That means that it's a brotherhood. Now, I want to leave y'all with one final thought, y'all. Once again, if you're enjoying this content, make sure that you hit the thumbs up to support the channel. If you're not sub up to this channel, make sure you're sub up and get the notifications when I do go live and do these episodes, all right? So I want to leave y'all with this final thought. Now, Men's Mental Health Month isn't about just demanding special treatment, okay? It's not about competing with any nobody else's struggles. It's not about diminishing another group's pain. But it's about acknowledging a reality that already exists. Because too many of our brothers they're struggling. Too many of our brothers are suffering as well too. Too many of our brothers are carrying burdens in silence. And too many of our brothers are fighting battles nobody knows about. And the tragedy about it, brothers, is that some of them have lost the battles. That should be a concern to all of us, especially for the brothers. Because when men suffer, everything suffers, as y'all can see. And I want the women who are watching this right now, I want you to hold on to what I just said. When men suffer, everybody suffers. And you want to know why is that so? Why is that true? It's because we have a divine duty to be leaders, to be protectors, to be providers. If we are suffering, if we are out of place, then guess what? Everything falls apart. Everything. So families suffer, the children suffer, communities suffer, hell, even society suffers. But when we become men with purpose, when we become men who are healthier, right? Guess what? Everything becomes healthy. Everything will be healed. Our women, our families, our communities, everything. So this month, if you have the ability to post about men's mental health, it's cool. Nothing wrong with it. Go ahead and post it. But however, I don't want you just to post about Men's Mental Health Month because it's just in the month of June. I don't want you to just do that. I want you to practice it. I want you to check on each other. I want you to encourage one another. I want you to listen and support. And if you're the man who is struggling right now, hear me clearly about this, okay? It is okay to not be okay. All right? But it's not, and I repeat, it is not okay for you to suffer in silence forever. Because healing begins the moment when you stop pretending. Healing begins the moment when you become honest with yourself. And healing begins the moment when you reach out. And sometimes healing begins with 3 simple words. Y'all want to know what them words are? Don't worry, I'll tell you. These 3 simple words is, I need help. I need help. And understand this, that this is not a weakness at all. It's not. It is courage. And from courage, that's when true recovery begins, brothers. That's all I got for this episode. I hope this episode give y'all a different perspective about this, you know what I'm saying? And give you a different perspective that we should care about men's mental health. No matter the race, ethnicity, no matter the gender or anything like that, we should care about men's mental health, period. Not only just this month, but period, we should care about men's mental health. Now, once again, appreciate everybody who joined me tonight. Make sure that you support this channel as well, too. We got a lot of things that's happening and going on with this channel that I haven't said about, but you'll know when it happens, all right? So if you're tuned in right now, you are in the right place, all right, for thought-provoking conversations, deal with men empowerment, and all these good old things as well, too. So appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for joining me on the Urban Lounge podcast. So until next time, y'all take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember, real strength isn't pretending you're okay. Real strength is doing the work to simply heal. Y'all have a good night, y'all.